Hello my coding buddies. In our last video, we have covered CSS selectors and properties. Today, we will learn about CSS combinators and how to use them to target specific elements in HTML hierarchy. CSS combinators are special selectors that define relationships between elements. They help us target elements based on their structure inside HTML. Combinators tell CSS how elements are related. Instead of selecting every element by its tag or class, we can say only apply this style if it's inside, next to, or related to another element. Before we learn about CSS combinators, let's first understand how elements are related in HTML. Consider this simple HTML structure and try to understand HTML hierarchy. Look at this div, it's like a parent. Inside it, we have p, span, and h2. These are its direct children. The b tag is inside span, so it's a descendant of div and direct child of span. Here's the same code as a tree. The top level div is the parent. It has three children, p, span, and h2. Inside span, there's a b tag. This is a descendant, not a direct child of div. And since p, span, and h2 live under the same parent, they are siblings. I hope you understand the relationship between HTML elements. Now let's see what are different types of CSS combinators. A CSS selector can contain more than one simple selector. Between the simple selectors, we can include a combinator. There are 4 different combinators in CSS. Number 1 is the Descendent Combinator, which is represented by a space. Number 2 is the Child Combinator, which is represented by a greater than sign. Number 3 is the Adjacent Sibling Combinator, which is represented by a plus sign. Last is the General Sibling Selector, which is represented by the tilde sign. Let's explore them one by one. This selector targets elements that are nested inside another element, at any level. For example, look carefully at this HTML. The team space P means all paragraphs inside tag with class team, no matter how deep. It will apply styles on all elements inside div but not on all P elements that are outside div. The child combinator selects all elements that are the direct children of a specified element and not the grandchildren. For example, look at the HTML carefully. The style class team greater than P will apply styles on only paragraphs that are directly inside the div tag. It will not apply style on the paragraph nested inside any of the children. It will also not apply style on any outside div paragraphs. Next is the Adjacent Sibling Combinator. This combinator selects an element that comes immediately after another. Sibling elements must have the same parent element, and adjacent means immediately following. For example, look at the HTML and styles carefully. The style class team plus P will apply styles on only paragraph that are direct sibling of div tag and immediately after the div with class team. It will not apply style on the paragraph that is a sibling but not immediately after div tag. It will also not apply on any child P elements that are not siblings of div tag. Last is the General Sibling Combinator. This combinator selects all elements that are next siblings of a specified element. Sibling elements must have the same parent element. For example, look at the HTML and styles carefully. The style class team tilde P will apply styles on all paragraphs that are direct siblings of div tag and appear after the div with class team. It will not apply styles on any child P elements that are not siblings of div tag. Let's style our portfolio website using these combinators. I have modified my website theme based on these 2 themes here. Because the colors here are similar to Logicladder logo and the sea green and navy blue color is the favorite color of Bitsy. Today we are going to style our About Me page. So let's open the about.html file in Visual Studio Code or any other editor of your choice. I am going to remove the code already present after the header tag, and after the header, let's add a main tag for the content. Inside the main tag, let's add a section for about the company part. I have added this code for company section. It has a paragraph, then a heading. And after heading there is a div with company logo and description. It also has 2 paragraphs outside this div. This is how it looks like. After the company section, I am going to add a section for our team. Let's see it in action. Our team section has 2 div representing 2 different members of the team. There is a name of the team member and then some information. Oh, why Cody is showing wrong picture. Let me change the source of the image tag to cody.png. The structure seems pretty fine now. Let's start the styling. What I want to do now is I want to style the company section. Inside the company section, there is this div. I want to apply style only on this div. As we can see that this div is the child of section tag with class company. We want to style only the child div and not the div inside the div. So we will use child combinator here. Let's move to the style sheet. I am writing this comment for child combinator. So what we wanted to achieve. We need to select the div inside the section with class company, so we will write .company greater than sign and div. Let's give a background color to it. You can also style this div tag by giving a class or ID. But CSS combinators are used when you have a big HTML structure and it will be difficult to give ID or class to each element. Then it's easier to style all elements based on a relationship. I have selected a color from my theme palette. Refresh the page and see. It has only modified the div inside the company section. Now I wanted to style the div inside our team section. We have a section with class team. And inside this section we have 2 children. I am adding comments in the HTML so that you can understand it well. I have to style these 2 children inside the team class. Let's do it in the same way we did for about company part. We will use a child combinator here, which is a greater than sign. I am selecting a background color from my theme palette. Let's see it in action. It has given a background color to only div inside the team section. The image seems too big to me. Let's modify these using Descendent Combinators. I want to access the image tag inside the company section. It's not a direct child but a grandchild, so we will use a space between 2 selectors. Since it's a company logo, I will give it a height and width of 200 pixels so it will look a little big. Now it seems pretty fine. Let's style the same for our team members' images. We want to style the image tags inside the section tag with team class. As you can see that the image tags here are not directly under the section tag. But these are grandchildren of section tag. I am adding a comment here so that you can understand it better. Let's style using the same Descendent Combinator we use for styling the company logo image. I will give it a height and width of 100 pixels, so it will look a little smaller than the company logo. Look, the styles only applied to team members' images and it did not affect our company logo. Now I want to style only these paragraphs which are next to the div we already styled. Let's look at the HTML structure. You can see that these paragraphs are the siblings of the div we already styled. But we don't need to apply styles on all the paragraphs. We only want to apply styles on the very next sibling after the div tag. So we can use adjacent sibling combinator here. Let's go to the style sheet and apply a style using adjacent sibling combinator. What I wanted to achieve here is that I need to pick the first sibling of the div element which is a child of section tag. I am writing in comments here for better understanding. First sibling of the div will be written as div plus p. Let's give any color to it and see it in action. See the magic of CSS combinators. How easily we selected only specific paragraph elements and apply style to these. We can also make it more specific by writing section here. This means the sibling paragraph of div which is a child of section tag. Now the only combinator left to learn is general sibling combinator. Let's say we need to style these paragraphs which are inside the div after these headings. We need to think, how can we uniquely pick these paragraph tags? We can see that all these paragraphs are siblings of h3 tag. I am adding one more paragraph here to understand general sibling combinator in a better way. Let's style using the general sibling combinator. What we want to achieve is that we want to style all paragraph elements that are next to the h3 tag. So we will write h3, then a tilde sign, and then ap for paragraph. Let's give any color to it and see it in action. See that all paragraphs after the H3 tags are styled in blue color. And the P tags in red color are still in red color because these are not siblings of H3 tag. We can also style differently for our company and team sections using their classes. For this we can use the class name before the H3 in this way. It means that the siblings P of all H3 which is the children of class company or class team. Give a different color and see it in action. Look, the paragraphs of team and company are now differently styled. At the end I am giving the color for blue and green from my theme color palette so that all colors are consistent throughout my website. Now it's your turn. As this topic is a little complicated, I would recommend to practice CSS Combinators from mentioned links for better understanding. After practicing, apply all 4 CSS Combinators to style your portfolio website. Share your experience in the comments. In this video we have learned: what are CSS Combinators? What are the 4 different CSS Combinators? Apply descendant, child, adjacent sibling and general sibling combinators. In the next video, we will explore about what is a box model and basics of layouts. Stay tuned. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell icon so you don't miss any of our exciting lessons.